Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. This is your Manchester United versus Brighton and Hove Albion preview. It's at Old Trafford. It's this Sunday, the 7th of August. It's a 2 o'clock kick-off. It's Manchester United's opening game of the Premier League season. And it will be Erik ten Hag's first Premier League game in charge. This will be a tough game. Brighton are a decent outfit. They've got a decent manager in Graham Potter. Graham Potter has been the Brighton manager for over 3 years. Brighton appointed Graham Potter in back in May 2019. He's under contract with Brighton until 2025. Before Brighton, he managed Swansea, and before then, he managed Ostersund. I do know the vast majority of the players that Brighton have got. They have Neil Maupay. He's probably one of the best players that Brighton have got. Leandro Trossard is a very good attacking player. Evan Ferguson, he's an academy player for Brighton. Jeremy Saminto, he's a striker. Brighton also have Danny Welbeck. Danny Welbeck is a former Manchester United and Arsenal player. So if Welbeck was to play in this game on Sunday, he'd be reuniting with Manchester United. Adam Lallana, he's a midfielder. He's a former Liverpool and Southampton player. Pascal Gross, I highly rate him. Alexis McAllister is good. Solly March, Stephen Alzate, Tariq Lamptey, he's a good right back. Revert back to January, Manchester United went in for him. Mark Cucurella, he's good. He's actually close to joining Chelsea because I heard that Chelsea have matched Brighton's price tag for Cucurella. Cucurella scored against Manchester United last season. Lewis Dunk is a good centre-half. They have Shane Duffy, Adam Webster, Joel Veltman, Moises Caicedo. Revert back to a while ago, Manchester United tried to get him. Matthew Clark. So there are a lot of the players that Brighton do have. Two of the goalkeepers Brighton have got is Robert Sanchez and Jason Steele. They've got another goalkeeper as well. Brighton have 2 injuries. They've got Jacob Moder out until February next year, and at the moment Kozlowski is out with injury. Let me put into the equation that Brighton have lost players. Earlier on this year, they lost Yves Bissouma. Bissouma went to Tottenham from Brighton. Brighton also lost Daniel Byrne to Newcastle back in January. They've lost likes of Dale Stephens and Ben White. Thomas McGill left them, and Glenn Murray left them. So there you go, and last season Manchester United beat Brighton at Old Trafford 2-0, but Brighton thrashed Manchester United 4-0 at the Amex Stadium towards the end of last season. Brandon Williams, he's out at the moment for Manchester United. He's on his way out of the club anyway. Man United are waiting for offers for Brandon Williams. Don't forget, last season he was out on loan with Norwich. Facundo Pellistri is out at the moment. At one point he was out on loan. And Sancho has been out with illness. This Sunday against Brighton, I'm expecting Terrell Malacia to make his Premier League debut. I'm also expecting Christian Eriksen and Lisandro Martinez to make their Premier League debuts. Manchester United did pretty well in pre-season. We lost one game in pre-season, that was to Atletico Madrid. We drew 2 games. We drew with Rayo Vallecano 1-1 at Old Trafford. That was the final game of pre-season, and we drew with Aston Villa 2-2, but we did win the rest. Well, like I said, I'm not too bothered about pre-season. You know, pre-season is just preparing for the new Premier League season. But pre-season is good for the young players because they get opportunities, plus they gain more experience. Erik ten Hag, I've got a lot of faith in him. I think he's going to make Manchester United competitive again. You've got to admire what Erik ten Hag did when he was at Ajax, because when he was at Ajax he won Eredivisie titles, he won Dutch Cups, and revert back to 2019 he got Ajax to the Champions League semi-finals and he developed the young players well. Ten Hag was the Ajax manager for around 5 years. This is the first ever time that Ten Hag is managing in the Premier League, and like I've said before, the Premier League is totally contrast to the Dutch League. And you know, Ten Hag is aware that at Man United he has got big expectations to exceed, and if he fails to exceed expectations, there's a good chance he will get sacked. He's our 5th permanent manager since Ferguson. When Ten Hag officially got appointed in as the United manager, he signed a contract until 2025. There's an option to extend for a further year. Ten Hag has made 3 signings so far as Manchester United manager. He signed Terrell Malacia from Feyenoord, signed Christian Eriksen on a free transfer. Christian Eriksen did sign a 3-year contract, and Ten Hag also signed Lisandro Martinez. Lisandro Martinez signed a contract with Man United until 2027 as an option of a further 12 months, and Man United got Lisandro Martinez in a deal worth up to 57 million. And Man United are still trying to make more signings. You know, we are still trying to get Frenkie de Jong from Barcelona. We've also been in for Benjamin Sesko from Red Bull Salzburg. Fabrizio Romano's mentioned that Man United are working on signing Benjamin Sesko and are pushing for him. Man United and Chelsea have been told to pay around 45 million for the star striker. And Man United, throughout the course of this transfer window, have been linked with Antony from Ajax. Let me put into the equation that Manchester United have let players go this year. Quite a lot of left on free transfers. We saw Juan Mata leave Manchester United on a free transfer. We saw Cavani leave on a free. Matic and Pogba left on free transfers. Lingard left on a free transfer. Lee Grant left earlier on this year. Quite a few young players have gone. So there you go, and Manchester United loaned Dean Henderson out to Nottingham Forest. You know, we sold Andres Pereira to Fulham. And definitely more players are on their way out of the club. Like I said, we've got Benny McCarthy at Manchester United. We've got Mitchell van der Gag and Steve McLaren at Man United. They're working alongside Ten Hag. You know, Ten Hag recommended them in. We've got Richard Arnold and John Murtaugh at the club. To their credit, you know, they've done good transfer business this summer. You know, John Murtaugh is Man United's director of football, and like I mentioned, Man United made the right decision getting a director of football in, because I did mention that's one of the structural changes we needed at the club. And obviously Richard Arnold is Man United's CEO. He replaced Ed Woodward. The Glazers, they're still at Manchester United. The Glazers have owned Manchester United for around 17 years. They bought the club for around 500 million back in 2005. And not so long ago, Sir Alex Ferguson returned to Manchester United in an advisory role. Not so long ago, Sir Alex Ferguson met with Cristiano Ronaldo. So there you go. We've seen 5 managers leave Manchester United since Ferguson. Obviously after Ferguson, Manchester United had David Moyes. We sacked him after 10 months, so Moyes only enjoyed a short managerial tenure with the club. And after Moyes, Man United had Louis van Gaal. We sacked him after like 2 years. Man United did win the FA Cup under Louis van Gaal. And after Louis van Gaal, Manchester United had Jose Mourinho. Manchester United sacked him after like 2.5 years. Mourinho did enjoy one good season at Man United because he won 3 trophies in his first season. Them 3 trophies was the Europa League, the EFL Cup and the Community Shield. after Mourinho, Manchester United had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sacked him in November last year. Solskjaer was the Man United manager for almost 3 years. Obviously, despite us sacking him last year, we still all adore Solskjaer because he is a legend of the club. Solskjaer's final game in charge of Man United was the 4-1 defeat to Watford. There was positives to take though from Solskjaer's managerial tenure. In his first season he got us a 3rd place finish, in his second season got us a 2nd place finish, and he got us to semi-finals, got us to the Europa League final as well. But unfortunately he didn't win out as Man United manager. When Solskjaer was the United manager, he did make around 14 signings. He spent over 250 million. Solskjaer also got rid of a lot of players as well. And after Solskjaer, Manchester United had Ralf Rangnick, and Rangnick left Man United earlier on this year. So there you go, and now obviously we've got Erik ten Hag in. I'm hoping this season though Manchester United, can win a trophy. Because realistically we haven't won a trophy for 5 years. But if you want to put Man United winning that cup in Bangkok against Liverpool, then it ended our 5-year trophy drought. But I won't really count that. The last time Man United won the Premier League was back in 2013. That's almost 10 years ago now. So anyway guys, there'll be more videos coming up soon. On my next video I'm going to be giving you some news on Telles and Frenkie de Jong, and then I'm going to be doing a video on my predicted 11 for this game against Brighton. So anyway, take care, God bless guys, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.